I hope you enjoyed taking the plant tour around my house. And I wanted to tell you that I have an assignment for you today to do something we've done a bunch of in room 5, but never with plants and animals. We have our science journals. So, to change doing science journals at home, it could just be a page in your journal. You could get just a bunch of like white pages together like this and like keep them together or clip them together or staple them together if you have a stapler. But if they're not all together, that's okay too. Sometimes it's nice to have all of your science things together so you can look through and look at all you've learned about plants and animals. So one thing that we've done in our journal is we have written down new words that we learned during a unit. So we've already learned this word, impact, making a change, and we talked about how humans have made an impact. In this case, they cut down a lot of trees. That was a negative impact. But also, humans could have a positive impact by planting new trees. Humans could have a positive impact by riding their bikes instead of always driving. We learned that worms have an impact by making tunnels in the soil. Beavers have an impact by cutting lots of trees down and making a dam with them in water. The dam will stop the river from flowing or the water from flowing. So you can draw a picture of a worm making a tunnel in soil, but if you think of a different picture that you want to draw for the word impact, that's okay too. Of course, we know butterflies, bees, bats, hummingbirds, they all make an impact by being pollinators. So you could draw a picture about that too. The other word we've learned is biologist, a person who studies plants and animals. And I like to do biologist, a person who studies plants and animals. Or you might like to do whiskers for animals. So you can draw a picture. I tried to do a picture of myself being a biologist, studying plants and animals. So the important thing is to have the word written and have a picture that makes sense to you. I will attach this in our Google Classroom today so that you can look at it if you'd like to. Otherwise, just make your own drawing. And our story today is by the same guy that wrote The Very Hungry Caterpillar and The Very Busy Spider. This one is called The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. It is autumn. A strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high in the air and carries them far across the land. One of the seeds is tiny, smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up with the others? And where are they all going? So here's all the seeds fluttering, and there's the tiny seed. One of the seeds flies higher than the others. Up, up, up it goes. It gets too high, and the sun's hot rays burn it up. But the tiny seed sails on with the others. See that seed being burnt up? Another seed lands on a tall and icy mountain. The ice never melts, so the seed cannot grow. The rest of the seeds fly on, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as the others. So this seed can't grow because the sun is not warming it to open up. Now they fly over the ocean. One seed falls into the water and drowns. Too much water will not make a seed grow. The others sail on with the wind, but the tiny seed does not go as high as the others. One seed drifts down onto the desert. It is hot and dry, and the seed cannot grow. Now the tiny seed is flying very low, but the wind pushes it on with the others. There it is. Finally, the wind stops and the seeds fall gently down on the ground. A bird comes by and eats one seed. The tiny seed does not get eaten. It is so small, the bird cannot see it. Now it is winter. After their long trip, the seeds settle down. They look just as if they are going to sleep in the earth. Snow falls and covers them like a soft white blanket. A hungry mouse that also lives in the ground eats a seed for his lunch. But the tiny seed lies very still, and the mouse does not see it. Now it is spring. After a few months, the snow has melted. It is really spring. Birds fly by, the sun shines, rain falls. The seeds grow so round and full they start to burst open a little. Now they are not seeds anymore, they are plants. First they send roots down into the earth. Then here's their roots going down into the earth. Then their little stems and leaves begin to grow up toward the sun and air. There is another plant that grows much faster than the new little plants. It's a big fat weed, and it takes all the sunlight and rain away from one of the new small plants. And that little plant dies. This guy was sucking up all the sun and water. The tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. It will be too late, hurry! But finally, it too starts to grow into a plant. The warm weather also brings the children out to play. Uh-oh. They too have been waiting for the sun in springtime. One child doesn't see the plants as he runs along and, he breaks one. Now it cannot grow anymore. The tiny plant that grew from the tiny seed is growing fast, but its neighbor grows even faster. Before the tiny plant has 3 leaves, the other plant has 6. And look, a bud and now a flower. But what is happening? First there are footsteps. Then a shadow looms over them. Then a hand reaches down and breaks off the flower. A boy has picked a flower to give to a friend. It is summer. The tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. It grows on and on. It doesn't stop. The sun shines on it and the rain waters it. It has many leaves. It grows taller and taller. It is taller than the people. It is taller than the trees. It is taller than the houses. And now a flower grows on it. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It is the tallest flower they have ever seen. It's a giant flower. All summer long, the birds and bees and butterflies come visiting. They have never seen such a big and beautiful flower. Now it is autumn again. The days grow shorter, the nights grow cooler, and the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower. Some petals drop from the giant flower and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down to the ground. The wind blows harder. The flower has lost almost all of its petals. It sways and bends away from the wind, but the wind grows stronger and shakes the flower. Once more the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower's seed pod opens. Out come many tiny seeds that quickly sail far away on the wind. And the whole thing will start over again. That's why seeds are so important to a plant. They blow away and they start growing new plants. That's how the plant reproduces, makes more of itself. There are flowers everywhere right now. It's spring and it's warming up quickly, so keep an eye out for that when you're outside. And if you look closely, you'll probably be able to see the seeds maybe in the middle of the flower. and you can look for the stem of the plant. You probably won't be able to see the roots that are in the ground, but they're there. All right, thanks, biologists.